What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be continuing our coverage of the Ultra League in the GamePress Go Battle League Gauntlet. I've been teasing a lot that the Ultra League has a lot of really spicy battles, and hopefully this video does not disappoint. We're going to start off by looking at TForgery's Crawdaunt team, and Crawdaunt is not a Pokemon that you see too often in the Ultra League, but I think TForgery shows that it is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's pretty similar to Shiftry. It's got Snarl as a fast move, and it is a very attack-weighted Pokemon, so it can't really take too many hits, but it can deal a lot of damage. TForgery is using Night Slash plus Crab Hammer on this Crawdaunt, so both of these moves also have a 1 in 8 chance to increase his attack by 2 stages. To kick things off, we are going to look at TForgery up against Your Calc Professor, and if Crawdaunt doesn't want to see one thing, it is an electric type Pokemon on the other side of the battlefield from it. And in this one, not only do we have an electric type Pokemon, but we got Shadow Zapdos. So that is one heck of an electric type. TForgery is going to go ahead and use a Night Slash, which draws a shield out of Shadow Zapdos, and Crawdaunt, like I said, is able to build energy really quickly, but it will have to shield even this Drill Peck. It's not really a bait. The Crawdaunt is just so frail that the Drill Peck does have to get shielded here. We will see another Night Slash from TForgery, trying to get a little boost action in there before switching over into Giratina. And I think your Calc Professor makes a pretty big mistake here going for the Drill Peck. He wastes all of the energy on his Shadow Zapdos before switching to Cresselia, and that energy would have been much better served on the Crawdaunt or on the Registeel from TForgery. So now it is a Giratina versus Cresselia battle, and this is a pretty common matchup in the Ultra League, and it is a Shadow Claw Giratina, so that is definitely helping with the energy gain and then also the super effective damage on the Cresselia. We're going to see a Shadow Sneak, which is going to start to get this Cresselia pretty low here, and then TForgery actually goes for a Dragon Claw rather than waiting to build up to a Shadow Sneak, and your Calc Professor is low enough that he is going to shield this Dragon Claw. So now TForgery is going to let this Moonblast go through, and he's going to get out of this matchup up a shield, which you got to be feeling pretty good about. He switches into that Crawdaunt, so immediately your Calc Professor switches into Obstagoon because he does not want to let his Cresselia get farmed down. So then we see TForgery switch into Registeel, and Registeel is going to be taking some damage here from this Obstagoon, but we can see it does not have Cross Chop as one of its charge moves. It's just got the Night Slash here as well. So some Night Slashes are going to deal some damage, and your Calc Professor does get the boost, but here comes a Focus Blast, and that boost is for naught. The Obstagoon is dead, so now we go back into Shadow Zapdos, and it doesn't have the energy. It is able to use a Drill Peck, but that is going to just get a shield from the Registeel. So now we will try to see a Sack Swap into Cresselia, and your Calc Professor just barely misses the Sack Swap. So this Flash Cannon is going to take out the Zapdos, and then we will see a Moonblast on the Registeel, and I don't know, is this going to be enough to take out Registeel? I don't think it should be. Yeah, it's not even enough to take out the Registeel, but then we just go back into the Crawdaunt, and Crawdaunt finishes it off. So there you go, Crawdaunt lead up against a Shadow Zapdos. That was a pretty spicy battle, I have to say, but the Crawdaunt was actually able to beat the Shadow Zapdos, which totally surprised me, and certainly well played there by TForgery. Let's keep the spice going now, looking at Cuddywow's team. This Typhlosion is going to have to switch out into Zangoose immediately, and TForgery is going to stay in at least to fire off a Night Slash at this Zangoose. Then we are going to see TForgery try to switch out probably into Registeel, I imagine, to get the Registeel not paired up against the Typhlosion, but he does miss that swap. So he actually brings in Giratina, which is interesting interesting because now he could have the Registeel line up against the Typhlosion, and Giratina is going to take super effective hits from this Zangoose. But Giratina does do pretty well against Zangoose despite the super effective nature of Night Slash. It is able to hold its own just because it can charge its moves out faster. So here we see a Dragon Claw from the Giratina going to get one of Cuddywow's shields. Cuddywwow is building up a bunch of energy here. He will win the CMP tie, which is going to make Giratina blow one of his shields here, and then Giratina fires back with the Dragon Claw. No protect shields remaining, so all of that extra energy on the Zangoose is going to go away. Now we'll see the Shiftry come out, and we are going to see one Dragon Claw land on the Shiftry, but this Shiftry should be able to farm down Giratina. I think that is probably what Cuddywwow is going to go for. We've seen Cuddywwow try to do some farm downs in the previous video. That's how he likes to play this Shiftry, and it is... Oh, wow, he goes for the foul play at the last second. He backed off of the farm down, so he's going to waste a lot of energy and take way more damage on Shiftry than he should have. So we see pretty quickly there a bunch of switches. TForgery goes to Registeel, so Cuddywwow swaps to Typhlosion, so TForgery goes back to Crawdaunt. And Crawdaunt is able to one-shot the Typhlosion. We are going to see the Shiftry probably one-shot this Crawdaunt, but the Shiftry doesn't have all of the energy on it that it needed to, so the Registeel is going to be able to get to a Flash Cannon. We're going to see a Leaf Blade come out of the Shiftry before it goes down. Just one final Leaf Blade, but this Flash Cannon is going to take down the Shiftry and going to take down Cuddywwow and win the game. In the previous video, we looked at TForgery up against Manaholics, and Manaholics is running this same team as Lorma, but in this video, we're going to see TForgery play it a little bit differently and try to get a win. So TForgery up against this Registeel. Previously, he switched out, but this time he is going to stay in and fire off some crab hammers on this Registeel. Registeel isn't going to shield, and the Crawdaunt's going to get the boost. So that is a pretty big difference between this battle and the previous battle. Now TForgery is very inclined to shield this Crawdaunt, and he is just going to keep going for crab hammers. Lorma didn't use any of his shields, so he can use a shield here now, but instead just lets his Registeel go down. And not only that, but there's a little bit of farm on the back side of that too. Lorma basically only has one option here, bring in Gyarados. So when Gyarados comes out, we are going to start seeing some Night Slashes from this Crawdaunt, and that is a huge amount of damage. That's a boosted Night Slash. So this Gyarados has got to shield these Night Slashes now, and they are just able to generate so quickly from this Crawdaunt. So this battle should potentially be over before it begins really here, as Crawdaunt shields this Gyarados again. I don't think Crawdaunt will be able to farm down this Gyarados, but it will be able to get... Oh no, it is able to farm down the Gyarados and then get off double Night Slashes on this Giratina. So this is double boosted Night Slashes. Will it get the second one? It is able to get the second Night Slash. So this is a ton of work all from this one Crawdaunt. Kills half of the Giratina, and now TForgery can bring out his Giratina, and he only has half a Giratina to deal with. So this match is totally over, and that is also totally different than the match between TForgery and Manaholics. I think there's a big difference in how he played the game as well, deciding to stay in with the Crawdaunt. But when you get that boost, especially on your first charge move, this game shows the true power of Crawdaunt, and that was just so impressive, just able to basically wipe Lorma's entire team and get both of his shields. Now we're going to look at my game up against TForgery, and I just showed how powerful that Crawdaunt can be, and it is pretty good against my team, I have to say. TForgery was saying that he was going to power up a Crawdaunt to use in the Ultra League of the Go Battle League Gauntlet, and I was pretty nervous when he said that. I figured it was probably going to be his leading Pokemon, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So Giratina up against Crawdaunt, like I said, pretty scary. I'm not going to shield these Night Slashes because I want to be able to shield a boosted Night Slash instead. That will protect me from a little bit more damage. So I'm just going to fire back with these Dragon Claws, and because I didn't shield, I'm hoping maybe he won't shield. Giratina is actually one of my best outs to the Crawdaunt, using my Ghost-type Pokemon against his Dark-type Pokemon. These Dragon Claws deal a decent amount of damage here. He's now built up to double Night Slash, so he is trying to double Night Slash me. I don't think this one will take me out, but the second one will. He is able to farm me down, though. So my Giratina is down, and I am up a shield, but I'm in a pretty awkward position in this matchup. He goes for the Crab Hammer, and I'm not going to shield that yet. He does not have a boost, but yeah, this is just a scary place to be in this matchup. Now he goes for a Night Slash right before he dies, and this one I do shield, so this was a little bit of a miscalculation on my part. I am going to Flash Cannon him dead and take out this nasty little crab. Then he brings in the Giratina, and this is an interesting choice until you realize that his last Pokemon is Registeel, and he doesn't want to go into the Registeel Ditto down a shield, or actually it would be even in shields, but down in energy. He would be up in health points as well, so he only has to land one Focus Blast, where I'd have to land two. What's tough about this is I can't line up my Lapras against TForgery's Giratina. So I switch into my Lapras, and I am going to take a Dragon Claw right now from the Giratina, but that's just going to prompt him to switch into Registeel, and Lapras does really not do well against Registeel. I can chunk it for a little bit of damage with these Surfs, but Registeel can shake those off pretty effortlessly, and it really threatens me with these Focus Blasts. All I can really hope to do from this point is hope to build up a bunch of energy before switching, and then switch into different Pokemon and catch TForgery off guard without shields, but that isn't even going to be able to happen in this scenario because these Pokemon are just too slow to charge their moves, so my switch timers are not yet up. So here comes another Surf on the Registeel, and then I am going to take a Focus Blast on my Lapras. Neither of my Pokemon can withstand a Focus Blast at this point, so I go into Registeel then, and we actually get Flash Cannon available at the same time, and he just goes for, I can't Flash Cannon him because he's got so much more health than me, but he can go for the Flash Cannon to basically knock me out here. I go for the Focus Blast just to actually kill the Registeel, and then his Giratina can come in, farm me down, and it will be able to Dragon Claw my Lapras to finish off the battle. So well played there from TForgery, and like I said, Crawdaunt is just a Pokemon that my team is not prepared for. It's super effective to Giratina, it is resistant to Lapras's moves, and it can battle with Registeel, as we saw in the last video as well. So none of my Pokemon really line up well against it, and Crawdaunt was an amazing choice against my team. To round this video out, we are going to be looking at my battles up against Lorma and Manaholics. And like I brought up in the previous video, both myself, Lorma, Manaholics, and TForgery are all running this Giratina Registeel plus Water-type Pokemon combination. And in that trifecta, Crawdaunt definitely beats Lapras, but Lapras beats Gyarados, and that is one of the reasons that I am playing Lapras, and one of the reasons that I feel pretty good about this matchup. I am in an awkward leading position here with Giratina up against Registeel, but it's Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, Giratina, so we'll be able to deal a little bit of damage. I'm going to swap out, try to catch a Flash Cannon on the Registeel, but Lorma does not fall for those tricks, as we remember from the Great League. He just waits for my Registeel to come in, fires off a Focus Blast, and he baited me last time in the same scenario, so I thought, okay, maybe this will just be a bait as well, but no, he hits me with a Focus Blast, I don't shield, and then he switches to Gyarados, and Gyarados is really good against Registeel, Both of my moves hit for not very effective on it, both my Flash Cannon and my Focus Blast. So he's going to hit me with a Crunch. I'm going to hit him with a pair of Flash Cannons and get his Gyarados pretty low, but he is going to be able to take out my Registeel. So I now don't have a great answer to his Registeel. I bring in the Lapras, and I am just going to go ahead and eat a Crunch on my Lapras, and I'm going to try to build up a bunch of energy on this Lapras. From here, he has to go to Registeel, and we've got a bunch of energy built up, so here we go, firing off some Surfs. This is how we are going to have to try to take out this Registeel right now, with some combination of Lapras, Giratina, and a shield advantage. So these Surfs do deal a bunch of damage, and then I'm going to go into Giratina, try to eat the Focus Blast, but again, he does not give it to me. Lorma never lets me sack swap, or not even sack swap, but just catch any of his charge moves. So I go to Giratina, he goes to Dragon Breath, Giratina, both of us with 2 shields right now. So we are just going to be trading some Dragon Claws. I really don't want to shield knowing that he has Registeel in the back. That is just, the Registeel's fast moves are so much scarier than the Giratina's fast moves. So we are just going to trade Dragon Claws, and he'll have to shield this one, or I will be able to get some additional damage on his Registeel. He does go ahead and shield that one, and then farm me down with the Giratina. So now I'm going to take some Dragon Claws from this Giratina. I think I should only take 1 here, though, on my Lapras, and then he switches immediately into Registeel, so that's good. He shouldn't want to get farmed down there. He just goes into Registeel, uses a Flash Cannon, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and start surfing. He is going to shield this one, but my next Surf will be able to take him out, and I should be able to beat him to a Surf before he is able to get off 2 more Flash Cannons. So here's the first one. This is going to get a shield from me, like I said. But then I can Surf, and then I should be able to pretty easily take down his Giratina, which is weak to my Lapras's Ice Shard. So we are able to turn the game around, despite honestly it looking pretty scary for most of the battle here. One final Dragon Claw onto the Lapras isn't going to be enough to take it out. Lapras is able to kill Giratina with just a small sliver of health remaining. So that battle was really close, and we've got another really close battle for the final game of this video. I'm going to be playing up against Manaholics using the same team as Lorma, the only difference being Shadow Claw instead of Dragon Breath on his Giratina. But it's the same team, same Pokemon in the same order. So the game is going to play out pretty similarly to start. My Giratina is up against his Registeel, so we are going to be Shadow Sneaking it while trying to land a Flash Cannon on my Registeel by switching. So we land the first Shadow Sneak, I go for the switch, but I don't quite get it in time, so Flash Cannon is going to land on my Giratina. So then we're going to try the exact same thing. So once again, go for the Shadow Sneak, and then a little bit after that, after he's built up some energy, just try to predict where he will throw this Flash Cannon, and I don't get it again. I try, but it's another Flash Cannon on my Giratina, so my Giratina's health is pretty low here. But then Manaholics makes a really interesting decision. He switches out to Gyarados, knowing that Gyarados is generally a pretty safe swap that a lot of teams can't punish. That's one of the reasons that I am playing Lapras, though, and I can't just let my Giratina get farmed down there, so I go into my own Lapras. Lapras also won't line up well against his Registeel, so this is a pretty clear switch for me. And we are able to get an Ice Beam off on the Gyarados, as Gyarados usually won't shield against a Lapras, so I just go for the Ice Beam. I'm going to take the Crunch on my Lapras, and then I am able to farm this Gyarados down. So now I have a bunch of energy. He has to go into Registeel, but Surf's up, so I use my first Surf on this Registeel, and I think I'm going to be able to get to a second Surf. and we actually CMP tie, so I am just barely able to beat Registeel in the CMP tie, get another Surf off, he doesn't shield, and then Flash Cannons my Lapras down. So we are going to let this Flash Cannon kill Lapras here. Then I go into Giratina, hoping to get a little bit more energy onto that by farming down the Registeel. Manaholics quickly recognizes that and switches to Giratina. So, knowing that I won't be able to get to a second Dragon Claw against his Giratina, I just switch out over into my Registeel to not let him farm me down. This gives us both the opportunity to sack swap as well at some point in the matchup, so it's almost like a 3 shield to 2 shield scenario, and because Registeel, I almost called it, Registeel charges his moves a little bit slower, Manaholics could be in a pretty decent position in this matchup, but I do have more shields than him, so I should be pretty good as long as I don't fall for the sack swap. And if I do, then I have to make sure I catch his. So the switch timer's up, and I go for Giratina at the exact same time he goes into Registeel. Unfortunately, I'm not able to farm up his Registeel at all. We just kill each other simultaneously. Then he goes back into the Giratina, and he actually baits me with a Dragon Claw. So that was a pretty good move from him that I was not expecting. We hit him with a Flash Cannon, and then he is going to go for another Dragon Claw bait here, which is pretty good on him. So he wastes a lot of my shields, both of my shields with Dragon Claws, then goes for a Shadow Sneak, and we CMP tie with no time left on the clock. So that takes me out, and I'm not able to use my final Flash Cannon. He basically got a free shield there by using the clock as an additional shield, but I just had a little bit of health over him. I would have been able to kill him with my Flash Cannon. Obviously, it would have been overkill at that point, but I wasn't able to use it, but I still had more health than him, so I was able to get that win. But that was a super close timeout battle. Probably one of the closer timeout battles that I've had too. So well played from Manaholics there, sticking with it and giving me a pretty good fight. That is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I got some other sweet Ultra League content coming up, both related to the GamePress Go Battle League Gauntlet and not. I might also be doing a video on Ryan Swag's team to show both perspectives, but he also released his own video with his own commentary showcasing his 6-0 run in the Ultra League, so check that out as well. And we've got one more video with the GamePress Go Battle League Gauntlet in the Ultra League. We are going to be looking at your Calc Professor's Shadow Zapdos. So that one should be a lot of fun. And like I said, we got some more Ultra League content coming up other than that too. So make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. That's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.